Hello, I'm the Eternal Newbie. The extra L is for left. As in, when we left off our heroes, a couple of players had gotten into a duel. I don't mean PvP, though there was a really poor attempt at that. I mean, they were trying to see who was the best at being dumb. In my book, they were both winners. But who's gonna win for real? Stay tuned to find out. First, we gotta do some business. Likes, comments, subs, sweet. Discord, Twitter, Twitch, second YouTube channel, super sweet. Info, video description. Check them out. Previously on the Eternal Newbie, two geniuses tried to outdo each other. Genius 2 had pulled ahead by destroying the only thing standing between a lich and a town. Genius 1 got on the board by walking away from the party in combat and having to be saved. Both geniuses split the party and left a down player behind, then Genius 1 attacked a party member to take the lead. Now the party is split and... Okay, I gotta level with you guys. I didn't particularly like part 1, how it turned out. I spent weeks on it. I rewrote that thing like 3 times. I just couldn't get it where I wanted. And I totally had part 2 written out, 1,500 words, but it just doesn't work. There is a really good story in there somewhere, I just can't seem to get it out. I have not had this problem before. And if this wasn't a part 2, I would have just tossed everything. But I can't leave the story unfinished, so I'm going to try something completely different. I have no idea if this is going to work, but whatever, let's try it. Experiment time. We get down to where the monk genius, aka Meanius, was, and there's 6 skeletons and 2 minotaur skeletons along with a caster. There's also a room 30 feet above us we can't see, but from it is coming ominous chanting. Never a good sign. Our cleric manages to turn most of the undead, and I hit the rest with fairy fire, making this battle a lot easier than it should have been. We all take damage though, except the warlock. That'll be important later. The caster hits me, the monk, and cleric with a shatter, taking them both down and leaving me at 1 hit point. I use my last spell to bring the cleric up, and we manage to finish the caster. She gets the monk up, and now it's time for the most daunting of enemies. No, not the lich. I mean the wall. We have to climb a 30-foot wall to get to whatever's going on. 2 athletic checks. I easily pass the first one, then I easily fail the second one. But I'm only 10 feet up, or 15. That's only 1d6. I can survive that, right? D6s have zeros on them, right? Of course they don't. So I fall, and since I'm only at 1 hit point, I'm down. Everyone else manages to get up there, and cleric ends up using her spell to get me up, though I never do climb that wall. Up there they find a flame skull, which is what's left of the lich. He completes his ceremony, and the ceiling crashes down, which just happened to be the floor for the council. They crash down and they melt. Looks like we are not getting paid. The party decides to attack the flame skull. Now a little bit earlier I'd said, you know what, we're all almost dead. We don't have very many spell slots. I don't have any. We should take a short rest at least, maybe even a long rest. Well, that wouldn't have worked anyway, but everyone was like, nah, we got this. And when they see the flame skull, they're like, nah, we got this. Let me tell you, we don't got this. I almost killed 4 level 4s with a flame skull once, and it was easy. I had to fudge like crazy not to kill them. I know that the party has no chance. And I can't even get up there. They toss me a rope and I still can't roll high enough to get up there. They attack. 1 player goes down, and the cleric uses her last spell to get him up. The warlock's like, I am out of here. You remember in the first story how I told you they had found a pendant, which, out of character, I knew was going to help us destroy the lich, or somehow win anyway. Well, I was right. Problem was, in character, I didn't know it existed. And the warlock had just shoved it in his pocket and forgotten about it. He decides he's going to jump down, 30 feet. He makes it because he was at full health. He's hurting when he gets down there, but he's still alive. As he does this, the lich/flame skull casts fireball on what is now 3 level 2s. The funny thing is, if he had stayed up there, everything would have been fine. You see, that little pendant he had found was the lich's phylactery. It would have absorbed the fireball. All they had to do was destroy it. But Mr. I'm going to split the party when 1 party member's down so the responsible people stay back and take the other genius with me, and we're going to find this thing and not tell anyone about it. Left them behind, and they all get hit by a fireball. Monk dies outright. I don't know how, but somehow the cleric and the ranger are still alive. They're in death saves though. Miraculously, the cleric somehow nat 20s a roll, picks up the downed ranger, and actually carries him down the wall. We get out. The town is collapsing. This world is collapsing. Apparently there's a lot of worlds. They're all connected by portals, something like that. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure. We make it out of the portal to the next world where they kind of want to know what's going on. Why are all these strange people appearing? We meet with the queen and I'm all ready to do the talking. Cleric is even like, hey Bard, do the talking. But as soon as we get in there, the warlock starts talking. And never stops. He talks and talks, not letting any of the rest of us get a word in edgewise. Which would have been okay because, you know what, let the guy do the talking. Except, he doesn't know what to say. A little thing like that's not enough to stop him though. With some help, we muddle through the conversation. Omitting the part we played in this whole lich destroying the world thing. Unfortunately, this is the beginning of a pattern. Every time we're asked something, he pipes right up and talks. If someone manages to talk before him, he talks over them. The queen offers us a job and a place to stay. The DM asks us if we want to do anything. I say I want to go to a temple, but the warlock cuts me off. I had a good reason for wanting to go to the temple though. When we got here, we all had to make con saves. If we failed it, we have disadvantage on con saves, dex saves, and dex checks for the rest of the day. Me and the warlock failed this. I want to get this cured. I say so, but am ignored because the warlock talks over me. I ended up saying it 3 times. As a matter of fact, I even got snippy. I don't usually get snippy in games. I get snippy. Because the warlock's like, let's go do this. Let's go do that. Let's go over there. Let's go over there. Finally, he's like, I forgot what I was going to say. Give me a few seconds. And I took this as my chance like, well, I've said 3 times I want to go to a temple. At least that's what I tried to say, but he started talking over me mid-sentence. Yeah, I'm going to have a talk with this guy. So I get to the temple. It takes all my money, but I get cured. Well, imagine my surprise when the next day, everyone has to make the same save again. Luckily, I passed this time. Others, including the warlock, do not. He now has 2 fails, which is much worse. Can we talk about this for a minute? Because I don't like stuff like that. Matter of fact, if the DM had told me he was using fumble charts, I probably wouldn't have joined the game. But then again, that's not really fair because it's not a fumble chart. It's a roll nat 1 hit an ally chart. At least it was the first game. After that, he gave us a 50% chance of actually not hitting an ally. This con save thing is even worse in my opinion. Make 1 roll, fail it, and have disadvantage on 2 of the 3 most used saves in the game. Not to mention a few of the most used skill checks. I'm not even going to get into how, when you fail that save, you have disadvantage on it from then on out. I don't really hold this against the DM. This is a matter of personal taste. I just don't like stuff like that. Some people do. Nothing wrong either way. Luckily, the warlock player leaves the game after this, so a few of the rest of us actually get to have some words in. So now it's time to muddle through the rest of the adventure with the main character not there. I hope we make it. The barbarian ended up rejoining the game when the DM talked to the monk about not being so, chaotic stupid, and there was a battle after that. It wasn't that important, but I do want to talk about it, because a very rare occurrence happened. Much like Halley's Comet, I don't think I'll live to see the next one. Wait, when does Halley's Comet come back? 2061? I might make that. Anyway, this monumental event I speak of is something that after 80 story videos, I don't think I've ever said. I was the hero of the battle. And no, I know what you're thinking, that is not a sign of the apocalypse. God, why does everyone think that? We were fighting some evil dryads and a few tree creatures. The cleric was down. The rest of the party were entangled. With me being the only one who passed his save. The DM took the restrained condition to mean stunned in this case, so I had to do something. I somehow managed to kill the dryad, ending Entangle. Well, ending Entangle after I kinda argued with the DM that Entangled was a concentration spell. I wasn't gonna argue the whole restrained stun thing, but I just couldn't let this one go. Well, that's not exactly true. I would have let it go if it had taken more than like 30 seconds. Luckily it didn't. I then moved to the cleric and heal her. Like I said, not super important, but after somewhere in the neighborhood of 100,000 words, I finally get to talk about being the hero. I think this is the first time. 80 stories are kind of hard to remember. I couldn't tell you out of the 2 who was the winner in the chaotic stupid battle, but I could tell you who was the loser. It was all the rest of us. So maybe they're both winners, I don't know. So what do you think? If you had to be, say, stuck on a desert island with the warlock or the monk, who would you choose? Have you ever met people like this before? Drop me a comment, let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, as always, play your character. Don't let your character play you.